we thought we would do a more succinct recording of our how to do a tax receipt gift acknowledgement, an annual gift acknowledgement in the AppealMaker software, and make it really short and sweet for you. So thanks to all of you who joined us for our actual live webinar. And for those who couldn't join us, we figured we would send you this video to make it easier to see how to do a tax receipt in AppealMaker. So we're going to start with, once you're in the account, if you don't have an account set up, it's very, very easy. You just go to sign up, enter your email address and your name, and a few minutes later, you'll get a confirmation link, and your account will be all set up and ready to go. Once you're in the product, the first page you get to is the list of AppealMaker products. And we have over 20 templates now, but we're just going to show you today the receipt and reporting. Go to the right. So if you send gift acknowledgements after each gift, these products can work for that, as well as sending an annual summary, which from a survey we recently did, it looks like almost everybody sends a year-end summary. And now with AppealMaker, we have detailed annual reports, giving reports that we're going to show you in a minute. As a matter of fact, what we'll do is we're going to go forward with one of the most simple products we have to make this quick and easy, and then show you some of the options that you have. What you see is 5 different products that are different formats for sending a receipt. Some have an ask, some don't. Some are simple. Some are a little more, allow you a little bit more room for writing a letter. But there's lots of options. Within each product and within each component, you will also have some options that we will show you as we go along. So I think we're going to start with, this is our annual gift report tax receipt. This is what I would call our bread and butter tax receipt for a year-end mailing. Again, this works great if you want to send these out after each gift as well. So in any AppealMaker product, along the top, you will see the component, and I'd like to say the component sides, because if you have a letter that is two-sided, then it will, you'll see the front and the back. The nice thing about the way the AppealMaker software is set up is that all the components are along the top. So you can toggle back and forth between, so for example, show them the envelope. So if you want to design the envelope and you remember, oh, I need to add something to my letter, you don't have to save the component and then go back and open up the other one. They're all right there at your fingertips. So this is just the basic letter front with no text in it at the moment, but Ann's going to show you how you can either type your letter, or if some people like to do their letter writing in Word, and then they will copy and paste. So yeah, I'm rushing ahead a little bit there. Sorry about that. So she just has a Word doc, wrote the letter. Of the letter. Now the text is a little small as we copied it over, but we can fix that really easy. There we go. We're going to choose a different font, something not so serify. And we're going to try 14 point. A lot of donors like the bigger type. A lot of our organizations like bigger type for their donors. We're going to go to, yes, we have a salutation variable in there. We're going to highlight that and then drop in one of the variable choices that you have, which happens to be the salutation. And then we'll make that match. There we go. Perfect. Later on, when you proof the piece, you'll actually see the real data in those variable placeholders. If you notice this particular template, starts off on the front page, actually shows the donor their annual amount as a summary. So we'll change that. In this case, the template has the variable set up already for the annual gift amount. You will either map your annual gift amount if you want to export that from your CRM. You will map that to this, or our system will actually add up the total of all the gifts. So that's the front page. Oh, there's a few other things. If you wanted to add an image or wanted to add a teaser or some sort of anything, text or image, we've got a box to the right of the address block. System's a little slow. There we go. We're just going to add a picture. There we go. You can right justify, center, left justify, whatever you want. We have handwritten fonts available. So if you wanted to write a note, there we go. Perfect. Lots of options. And then we'll go to the back, and then again, Anne has written the back of her letter in a Word doc. So she can copy and paste that. Again, if you want to just directly write the letter in the editor, that's fine as well. Now we want to add a signature. When you set your account up, we will actually digitize as many signatures as you want. If you have different letter writers, you will have a choice of different, what do we call them? Signatures. The signature, the written signature, and the text signature. There we go. And then at the bottom of this particular template, this will allow you to show up to 12 gifts. There are letter back options over on the left that would allow you to do, this one actually has 27, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then there's even one for 52 gifts if you have weekly givers. And again, yep, and then we have a full page, yes. That's if you don't have a second page to your letter and you just want to put all of your gift summaries on the back of the letter, essentially. This option is your best choice. Okay, so once we have that, let's go to the outer envelope. There is a variable teaser that allows you to write whatever you want. Now, one thing we'd like to just make people aware of is using the word tax receipt does have some implications. If you are wanting to use nonprofit postage rates or to get postage rates, you can mail a year-end statement using nonprofit postage rates if the general sense of the message is more stewardship. If the letter is saying, thanks, this is a convenience to show you what you've given, and there's some copy that refers to giving in the future, then the post office will almost always let that pass as what they would call marketing mail, which classifies for nonprofit postage rates. Another thing to think about there is it takes longer for the nonprofit. When you use nonprofit postage rates, it takes longer, somewhere between 10 and now it's 17 days in some cases to get there. So if you want to use nonprofit postage, you want to mail earlier and you want to be careful about your message. And the point is, on the outer envelope, I wouldn't use your teaser saying tax receipt included because the post office sees that more as an account statement, and they would require you to use first class mail. I think mostly people use first class mail for gift acknowledgments and annual receipts. There's another advantage is that if something doesn't make it to the recipient, it comes back. There are definitely a lot of advantages to first class postage, but again, it is more expensive. So, but you can put whatever teaser you want in that block. So once we have the piece designed, then we hit next. And it always reminds you to name your appeal. And our system will give it some numbers just to keep it from copying over different appeals. And when you're naming your appeal, think about it from a standpoint of what you would look for later if you were going to retrieve a draft of your mailing. So then we want to name the import. This is different than naming the appeal. This is naming the list. The reality is once you upload this list, you could use it for another appeal. So the lists are independent from the actual templates. And now another point here is because we're using a template that has a multi-gift list, meaning multiple gifts per donor, we want to check that option. And I'll explain something really quickly. Typically, when you use AppealMaker or when you send your list to a mail house, you would be sending one record per donor. We found that the easiest way to produce a mailing with multiple gifts was to literally upload a list of all gifts, which also include the donor's information. So Anne is showing you a spreadsheet example of how this works. So you'll notice that we've got Jane sample and John sample. There's only 2 donors in this whole database, but we've got a line for each one of their gifts. When this is uploaded, our system will actually compact this down to one record per donor with on the same record, it will have all the gift and gift dates. So there'll be a field for gift 1 date, gift 1 amount, gift 2 date, gift 2 amount, all the way up to 52 gifts. If you have any questions about lists or exporting them from your CRM, just reach out to us. We're very happy to help. All right, so now we're going to actually choose the list for the software. We're going to upload it. We're going to go next. And at this point, okay. So the next stage is to map your fields to our fields. Now, when you set up your letter and you inserted the variable fields, you were using fields from our database. This is where you map your fields to ours. So for example, out of your CRM, it may say something like constituency address or something different. This is where you're going to map those to the variables that we have. So Anna's going through and doing the basics. If you want to add, if you are able to export the last gift amount from your database, that will be necessary and helpful if you want to use a gift string and you're going to use an ask if you're going to use one of the templates with an ask. In this case, we didn't have an ask. And so the last gift and the last gift date really wouldn't be relevant, but we want to show you where you can map those if you're choosing to do an ask. And then when you chose multi-gift as the option for the type of list, it changes the field mapping here. And it uses the phrase multi-gift amount and multi-gift date, just to remind you that you're uploading a list with a row or a record per gift. Now, the annual gift amount, if you would like to map that from your database, if you're able to choose that in your query, you can do that. If that is blank, our system will actually add up the total of the gifts. If you have an appeal code, you could actually type a static appeal code so that you don't have to have it in your database. The donor ID is very, very important for the multi-gift list because that's how it matches up the gifts and compacts that multi-record database down to one record per donor by matching up that donor ID. Now you'll notice that there are up to 12 custom fields. Those allow you to do whatever you want. If you've got data in your database that you want to put into your letters, postcards, anything like that, you can. A really great example is we have one client who loves to put a note, just a really simple note to certain donors when he exports his list, and he maps them then to the custom one field, and then he can drop that into his letter and change the font to like a blue handwritten font. So, and if you don't put a note in a certain donor's record, it just doesn't show up. So you can do that as you choose. All right, I think that gets us to the next stage. This is where you can go through and see how your records mapped. This shows you an actual set of data. If we slide back over to the left, you'll see there's a little eye icon where you can look at, let's say, Jim Smith's piece. We can hit the eye and we actually see Jim Smith's proof. So we see it exactly the way that the donor would see it. Check out the salutation. You'll see at the bottom of this, there's a gift summary because we uploaded a summary field, but again, it would add up the gifts in the database in this case. There's our signature. And in this case, we chose a template that had up to 12 gifts. And this shows Jim's 12 gifts with the date and the gift amount. So this does qualify for an actual tax receipt for Jim's purposes. There we go. So we see our proof. Now, if we go back to the records, if you wanted to search for a particular donor, just to make sure that they're, let's say we wanted to make sure Dr. Mark Fry's piece was good, we could search for Mark and look at his in particular. There we go. Now, this is a window package, sort of on purpose. We find that for tax receipts, annual summaries, the window package, it's cheaper and it happens to work really well. We've got 20 years of experience of doing this, and this is really one of our, again, go-to packages for this type of a service. All right. Next, we will, a little bit of a lag, we do our proof approval. Okay, here we pick our postage type. We will only have first class available here because our list is only 6 records. However, if you have up to 200 pieces, then it will allow you to mail third class if you want, or standard class or nonprofit class. You'll select your mail date, and once you approve this and pay for it, it's able to go out in 3 days. There we go. We've got 2 jobs in our cart, as we did one before, right?
Yep, we can just check out or choose the invoice option.
Yes, you can pay by credit card, by ACH, or again, you can generate an invoice and pay that later if you'd like. And that's it. That concludes it. So let's go back to the products. This was just one example, but we'll go to the list of actual products. There we go, and pick the receipt reporting section. So there are 5 products, and within each product there are multiple templates. So we have something like a simple donor thank you, which is just a really short letter with a receipt. At the bottom of it, where we have, I think we had talked about doing a
letter
gift
with an
report
ask.
with an ask. Yep. Oh, this, okay, we're in there. So here we have a remit slip. Remit front, remit back. Again, to remind you, if you include an ask, you can always use the nonprofit, the lesser expensive nonprofit rate, because the main purpose of the piece is to solicit a gift, and so that qualifies for a nonprofit postage. And we just want to be really careful when we use phrases like tax receipt. If you want to enjoy the lower rates of a nonprofit, the post office doesn't want you sending out what they would refer to as an account statement or account level piece using nonprofit rates. But if it includes stewardship language or includes an ask, then you can do that. Yeah, I think that wraps it up. With most of the multi-gifts, I think we went through this, but just to remind you that if you have weekly givers, we've got templates where you can show up to 52 gift dates and gift amounts. And then we have we've got the 12, and we have a 27, and we have a 52 choice, gift choice.
And one other option is once you have your piece created, if you wanted to reorder, you just go back to order history.
Yeah, so next year, if you do a tax receipt this year and next year you're going to do the same or a similar piece, you simply copy last year's job, upload your new data, and it's ready to go. So you can literally get your mailing out in minutes. That's a good point. I think that's everything. Anne, can you think of anything else we want to add in our video for?
I think that would be it.
So thanks for taking time to watch this. Again, please reach out. We're happy to help in any way. If you literally want to send us your letter and pick a template, we're willing to set everything up for you and have you proof it at the end. That's totally fine with us. So, but that should do it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.
Thank you.